So my dear student, next I would like to continue the next question number, that is question number 7. We have already discussed about the first chapter, that is chemical reaction and equations. So I would like to go to the next question number, that is question number 7. Here the question is write the balanced chemical equation for the following reactions. So first question is calcium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide and the product is calcium carbonate plus water. So here the reaction is in the word equation, so you should write first chemical symbols. So chemical symbol for calcium hydroxide is CaOH whole bracket 2 plus carbon dioxide CO2, which will form calcium carbonate. This symbol for calcium carbonate is CaCO3 plus water. The symbol for water is H2O. Okay, so calcium is the valency 2 and hydroxide is the valency 1, that is why CaOH2. This is the symbol for calcium hydroxide. Next, carbon dioxide, carbon has the valency 4 and oxygen has the valency 2, so this is CO2. Next, calcium has the valency 2 and carbonate polyatomic ion has also valency 2, that is why the symbol for calcium carbonate is CaCO3 plus water. Hydrogen has the valency 1 and oxygen has the valency 2, that is why the symbol for water is H2O. Next, C, the numbers of atom on both the side. Okay, the numbers of calcium is in the reactant side is 1, whether the product side is also 1. Next, numbers of hydrogen is here 2, here also 2, and then the numbers of oxygen is here 3 plus 1 4, here 2 plus 2 4. So you see this equation is already balanced. So whenever there is a balanced chemical equations, then you should not put any type of digits on both the sides, otherwise your chemical reaction will be incorrect. Okay, so again calculate the numbers of atom. Here in the reactant the numbers of calcium is 1, here also 1. Next, oxygen, numbers of oxygen is 2, here 2 plus 2 4. Next, here also 3 plus 1 4. Numbers of hydrogen is 2 and here also 2, that is why this is already balanced. Okay, so this is already balanced. Next, go to the next question. You see zinc plus silver nitrate, which will form zinc nitrate plus silver. So zinc nitrate plus silver. Okay, so next you see zinc Zn plus silver nitrate AgNO3. So silver is the valency 1 and nitrate has also the valency 1, that is why the symbol for silver nitrate is AgNO3. Next, the product is zinc nitrate ZnNO3 whole bracket 2, because zinc has the valency 2 and nitrate has the valency 1, that is why ZnNO3 whole bracket 2. Next, zinc nitrate plus silver. Okay, so can anybody tell me the types of reaction? You see this is one of the example for displacement reactions. Okay, so next count the number of atom on each side. Zinc, numbers of zinc atom in the left side is 1, whether in the product side is also 1. Numbers of NO3 group is in the reactant side is 1, whether in the product side is 2. So you have to put here 2 digit to balance the numbers of NO3 polyatomic ion. Next, silver, numbers of silver atom in the product side is 1 and here it is 2, so you should put 2 here to balance the equation. Okay, now count again the numbers of atom in the reactant and in the product. So in the product numbers of zinc is 1. Here in the reactant zinc number is 1. Then silver, numbers of silver atom in the reactant side is 2. Here is also 2. Next, NO3 numbers of nitrate polyatomic ion is here 2 and here also 2. That is why it is balanced. Next, go to the next question, that is question number C. So in question number C, you see aluminium plus copper chloride, which form aluminium chloride and copper. Okay, so symbol for aluminium chloride will be aluminium plus copper chloride. So I have already told you that copper is the valency of 1 and 2. So whenever there is not any mention of the valency of copper, then you may take the valency of copper 2, that is CuCl2. So the CuCl2 is also pronounced as cupric chloride. Okay, so you see whenever there is a element which has variable valency, and in a compound if it shows the maximum valency, then it is pronounced as ec. Okay, so I have already mentioned you. Next, so aluminium plus copper chloride will form aluminium chloride AlClT. Here it is aluminium chloride. So AlClT plus copper. So this is also example of displacement reaction, because aluminum is more reactive than copper. That is why it can replace copper from its solutions or compounds. Okay, so let's balance the equation. Here the number of chlorine is 2, here 3. So you should put here 2 to get the number 6, that is 2 3 6. Here we also put the 3 digits so that we can get the numbers of chlorine as 6, 3 to the 6. Okay, so here the numbers of copper is 1, that is why you should put digit 3. Next, here you should put 2, because numbers of aluminum is in the product side is 2, that is why you should put here the digit 2. Okay, now count again the numbers of element. In the reactant side, the aluminum is numbers of aluminum atom is 2, here is also 2. Chlorine 3 to the 6, here to the 2 to the 6. Next, numbers of copper is 3, here is also 3. So it is balanced, and the ratio of the product reactant and product is 2:3 is to 2:3. Okay, now let's go to the next question, that is question D. You see barium chloride plus potassium sulfate, which gives barium sulfate and potassium chloride. Okay, so write the chemical symbols for barium chloride. You see, so symbol for barium chloride is BaCl2, because the barium is the valency 2 and chlorine is the valency 1. Okay, next, potassium sulfate. So potassium sulfate is CK2SO4. Okay, so numbers valency of SO4 is 2, that is sulfate is 2, and the potassium is 1. That is why whenever we cross the valency, then we get K2SO4. This is potassium sulfate. Okay, next, which will give barium sulfate. You see, this is barium sulfate and potassium iodide. Okay, so barium sulfate BaSO4. So valency for barium is 1 and the sulfate is also 1. That is why the symbol for barium sulfate is BaSO4. Next, barium sulfate plus, this is potassium chloride. Okay, so symbol for potassium chloride will be KCl, because the potassium is the valency 1, whether the chlorine has also 1. Now we should balance the equation. Say numbers of barium in the reactant side is 1, whether the product is also 1, and numbers of sulfate SO4 polyatomic ion is also 1. Here is also 1. But the numbers of potassium in the left side, that is in the reactant side, is 2, whether in the product side is 1. That is why we just put here 2 digit in the product side, and as a result, what's happened? All the numbers of element on both sides becomes equal to each other. Okay, see, numbers of barium is 1, here is also 1, numbers of potassium is 2, here is also 2, chlorine is here 2, and here is also 2 multiplied by the chlorine, that is why here is also 2. So this equation is balanced. Next, see the next question. So here question number 8. Okay, first read the questions. Write the balanced chemical equation for the following and identify the type of reaction in each case. So you are asked to balance the chemical equation. Again, it is written in the word equation, and you are asked to balance the chemical equation by putting the symbols for each of the chemical compounds, and also you are asked to write the type of reactions in each type. So you see, the types of reaction was combinations, next displacement, next decomposition, double decomposition, oxidation, reduction, and there is also one type, that is neutralizations. But in about the neutralization reaction, there is not any such type of informations in your textbook. So we'd like to consider the combination, next decomposition, next displacement, and double displacement. Okay, so checked whether this equation will be on which type. Okay, so next, see first question A. Potassium iodide reacts with barium iodide. Potassium bromide reacts with barium iodide to form potassium iodide and barium bromide. Okay, so question number 8.1. You see, barium, potassium bromide. Question number 8A, potassium bromide. KBr, potassium bromide. Potassium is the valency 1 and bromide is also 1. That is why the symbol for potassium bromide will be KBr, which is aqueous. So you know, so aqueous means, so you know the aqueous means which is soluble. Okay, so aqueous solutions, actually aqueous solutions are those which is made in the water. Actually the aqueous compounds are not precipitate, but the which is solid, that is insoluble, are precipitate in a chemical reaction, that is in double displacement reaction. So I have already mentioned it, but remember this, because this is very important for to write the state symbol. Okay, so KBr, potassium bromide. Potassium bromide is found in the aqueous form. Next, barium iodide, Bai2. Okay, next, which will form potassium bromide plus barium iodide, which will form potassium iodide and barium bromide. Okay, so it will form potassium iodide Ki plus barium bromide Br2. Okay, so let's balance the chemical equations. So numbers of potassium is in the product side is 1, here is also in the reactant side 1, bromine is also 1, here is 2. That is why we should put here 2 to equalize the numbers of barium atom on both the side. Okay, now the numbers of bromine atom is balanced, but the numbers of potassium is increased twice times to that of product. That is why you should put here also 2 digits. Okay, so now check the numbers of atom on each side. Numbers of potassium is 2, here is also 2. Okay, so numbers of iodine is 2, here is also 2, because 2 will be multiplied by the other elements. Next, numbers of barium is in the reactant side is 1, here is also 1, and bromine is here also 2, here is also 2. Okay, that is why this chemical reaction is balanced. Now you are also asked to write the types of chemical reactions. So you see, so types of chemical reaction will be, you see, this is a compound, this is also compound. So what's happened, this will be a double displacement reaction. Okay, so the first reaction, you see, potassium bromide plus barium iodide, which will form potassium iodide and barium bromide, is a double displacement reaction. So types will be double displacement reaction. Okay, double displacement reaction. Okay, so next 8b, question number 8 and b, that is you see, zinc carbonate give rise zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. This is one reactant which will give two products. So I think you remember the types of reactions. This is a decomposition reactions. You know, in case of decomposition reaction, it needs some energy. Okay, in case by means of heat or by means of electricity or by means of light. Okay, so this is one type of decomposition reactions. Now first, balance the chemical equations. So what are the reactant? Reactant is zinc carbonate. So chemical symbol for zinc carbonate will be Z and CuT. This is zinc is the valence 2 and carbonate has also 2, that is why zinc carbonate Z and CuT, which will give rise zinc oxide Z and O, because zinc has the valency 2 and oxygen has also 2, that is why Zn2O2, which is written as ZnO. Okay, ZnO, zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide CO2. Let's see, this is the chemical reaction. Zinc carbonate give rise zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. Now count the number of atom on each side. Numbers of zinc atom is here in the reactant side is 1, here is also 1, and the numbers of oxygen is 1 plus 2 3, here is also 3. Carbon is 1 and carbon is here is also 1, that is why it is already balanced. So I have also mentioned you that some of the chemical reactions are already balanced, so you need not put any type of digits on that type of on that reaction, because if you put any digits, then what's happen, your balancing will be incorrect. So you should not have the right answer. That is why first count the numbers of atom on each side. If it is already balanced, then don't need to put any kind of digits. Okay, so now you are asked to write the types of reaction. So it will be a decomposition reaction. So type will be decomposition reaction. Okay, decomposition reaction. Now let's go to the next question. So you see, hydrogen plus chloride, which will form hydrogen chloride. So we have already discussed this chemical equation in the in-text question. So you see, hydrogen is a non-metal and chlorine is non-metal, and it will form hydrogen chloride. So I mentioned you that if the reactant is found in the as non-metal, then you should write it in the molecular form, and also in the product, if it is non-metal found alone, then you should write in the molecular form. You should not write it in the atomic form. Okay, so as you know, hydrogen and chlorine is non-metal, so you should write it in your molecular form. That is what's happened, hydrogen H2, okay, plus chlorine Cl2. which will give rise HCl. You see, hydrogen H2 and chlorine Cl2 will give rise HCl. Now count the number of atom on each side. You see, numbers of hydrogen atom in the reactant side is 2. Here is 1. Chlorine is 2. Here is also 1. So you should just put a digit 2. Then you see the numbers of atom on each side will be equal to each other. Okay. Now the types of reaction will be combinations. Okay. So hydrogen and chlorine is reactant which form one product. If two element or reactant react to form one or more product, then it will be a combination reaction. So the types of reaction will be combination reactions. So in the earlier class, whenever I give you the examples of combination reaction, in which I mentioned that in producing water molecule by for the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen, heat is released. You know, most of the combination reaction emit heats, release heats. In case of water molecules forming, it also emit heats. So in case of carbon dioxide, the heat release was 393.5 kilojoules. I mentioned it earlier. And in case of water molecule, it is 572 kilojoules. I hope you will remember it. Next, go to the next questions. So next question is D. Okay, magnesium plus hydrochloric acid which form magnesium chloride and hydrogen. Okay, so you see magnesium and hydrogen chloride. So magnesium symbol for magnesium will be Mg. Okay, M capital, G small, plus hydrochloric acid. This is hydrogen chloride also. So HCl, which will give magnesium chloride and hydrogen, MgCl2 plus hydrogen means H2. Okay, so let's see. Magnesium reacts with hydrogen chloride to form magnesium chloride and hydrogen. You see, this is metal, that is why it is written in the atomic form, and this is hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen has a valency of 1, chlorine has also 1, that is why it is written as HCl. Okay, next MgCl2, magnesium is the valency 2, whether the chlorine has 1, that is why it is MgCl2. Next, it is hydrogen, as it is a non-metal, so it will remain in the molecular form. Next, go to balance the equations. So you see, numbers of magnesium is 1, here is also 1, but numbers of chlorine and hydrogen in the product side is 2, that is why we should just put 2 digit. Okay, now the numbers of hydrogen in the reactant side is also 2 and chlorine is also 2, that is why it is balanced. So now you are also asked to write the type of chemical reaction. Here you see, this is one metal, this is non-metal. So you see the hydrogen is displaced by the magnesium, that is why it will be a reaction of displacement reaction. Okay, so displacement reaction. Okay, so this is all about the question number 8 and 7. So I hope you will practice it in your home, and later you should send these answers to me in my WhatsApp numbers. In the next class, I will tell you about the answer of the rest question, that is 1911. You see, I don't like to take your more time as well as my also, because whenever I will give so many answers, then you will have some troubles in giving answers, because you see you have also some other classes also, so I give you some chances to answer all the subjects. And the next time whenever I will give you the answers, then I think your these chapters will be finished. So you are hereby asked to give me the syllabus for your next exam, that is PT1. Okay, so I would like to know the chapters which will be set for your next exams. Okay, thanks, have a good day.